Kyle, would you repeat that?
Yeah, he was asking how much of the film is supposed to be an experiment on the audience. You know, it's a good question. I'm not sure. You know, the trick of it always was to say that humanity than it was of how bad humanity is. And so, for me, it was making sure that we didn't. You know, I always reminded, we always talked about on set, like, no one dies, no one bleeds. You know, there's a little bit of physical, there's roughhousing and a punch, but ultimately, everyone does get up and walks away and is okay to a degree. And so, you know, that's why we always made sure, like the first lineups, we really were careful to make sure the movie didn't hit too hard too fast, so that hopefully it wouldn't become a test. You know, because it is obviously, I mean, some of the stuff was upsetting. It was upsetting to shoot and to put together, but I want to make sure that it always felt accessible as opposed to the movie being like a sort of constant endurance test of the audience.
Sure, there's a lady, maybe, yeah, right there. The question was, how close was the screenplay to what we actually saw?
You know, the script, Tim Talbott, who wrote the script, worked really closely with Dr. Phil Zimbardo, and around the same time that Zimbardo was writing his book, The Lucifer Effect, which is the retelling of this, of what happened. So we were listening to the transcript, you know, and then I came on board many years later, and I watched every minute of raw footage of the experiment. I listened to every transcript. We read through Phil's book, but, you know, we really sort of made sure that it would sort of hold up to how it played out. I mean, down to the point where, like, when Ezra's in the closet screaming, we were listening to the audio clip of that, and it's nearly identical. You know, Ezra would have it on, and then we would take it off right when we would roll, and so, you know, I think we all took a lot of pride in trying to stay true to what happened while also trying to, you know, it's a story that's truly, like, too good to be true. You didn't really have to embellish it too much, and that's something that we all took a lot of pride in, and making sure, you know, Stanford and Phil, they all read the script and knew what we were doing, and it was, we rebuilt, that's the basement of Jordan Hall, rebuilt down to the square inch. I mean, you can't tell the difference between the real place and our set.
Sure, that gentleman right in the middle there.
What kind of consulting was done with the original participants of the experiment, and what have their reactions been?
What kind of consulting was done in the original experiment?
The participants, I think the subjects. They, you know, it was, since the script was being written at the same time that the book was being written, you know, a lot of that research was done, and a lot of these kids, those interviews at the end of the film, we recreated word for word. I mean, you can go on YouTube right now and see the scene between Ezra and Michael is, I mean, it's almost identical. And so, you know, in a large part, one of the things I wanted to be able to do too was to, like, empower this cast to be able to make these characters of their own. And make sure that they can engage in this and engage in what happened in a way that was still truthful to what happened, but also that they could be their own individuals too and bring what they needed to, especially since the script doesn't delve into anybody's backstories. And so no one has seen, the film was only finished 5 days ago, 6 days ago. So it's, you know, it's, I don't know how the subjects are going to respond to it, but I hope they respond, that it feels truthful to them. It was really, for me, I love bringing them back together again.
It was okay.
Michael, do you want to respond in any way?
No, I love working with Mike. And we just shot a movie over the holidays that he wrote and directed, so that'll be our fourth.